Hi there, this is JHaubz, and we're starting the first of what I'm tentatively calling the JHaubz playthroughs. Um, the intended audience for this is primarily my wife to watch when she has time to actually watch the playthroughs that we used to do together. But if you'd like to also follow along, please feel free. We've talked about doing a Final Fantasy A Realm Reborn for a long time, but I typically told her no because trying to do an MMO with somebody watching you would kind of take a lot of time. But we figured since we're starting to do this video series, maybe this is something we can play through and I can kind of skip all the boring bits that would be like, hey, leveling and that kind of stuff. So before I get too far into this game, I wanted to do the kind of cutscene that started off Realm Reborn. Not yet though, game. And also just kind of give you a little bit of backstory as to kind of how this version of the game came about. So obviously, if you're not interested in all this, you can skip because yay videos. The interesting thing about where this Final Fantasy sits right now is that Realm Reborn is actually the second patch of this game, like the 2.0 patch. The first one, the 1.0, or what would some people call the vanilla version of this game, is actually no longer playable. I don't know too many details and about why, but apparently like the 1.0 version of this game was either the play was bad enough or it was received so badly that like the top developers of the game had to actually make a public apology for the poor performance of the game. And then after they made that apology, like leadership was handed over to like a whole new team, and they were basically trying to start the game over. And they asked the players that were currently on the game to kind of just hang around, keep playing it for free, and tell them what they could do to improve it. How much of the game mechanics and lore that was kept from the original version, I can't say, but once it got transitioned to the new leadership, it kind of got a complete overhaul. So in some ways, A Realm Reborn not only refers to stuff in game and kind of works into the narrative, but it also kind of refers to the restart of the game itself, which I think is kind of neat. So without further ado, this is Final Fantasy A Realm Reborn. Let's get into the opening movie. So, lots of running, fighting, magic, explosions, and a huge freaking dragon. So again, I don't know about everything that led up to this fight that we just saw, but basically multiple battles are going on at the same time. On the battlefield, you have the Eorzean Alliance defending themselves against the Garlean Empire, who is trying to conquer them. The Warriors of Light, so the axe-wielding warrior guy, the paladin, the archer, and the black and white mages that the clip kind of focuses on, those are our stand-in warriors of light, and they're kind of down on the front lines, managing the fight as best as they can. But simultaneously, either the Empire or some other bad guy is trying to free Bahamut from its massive prison in the sky. For reasons that we'll find out at a later point in the game, they're trying to use these summons, or let me try that again. So the bad guys are essentially trying to use and or summon primals like Bahamut to bring about massive calamities on the planet. Obviously, from the clip, they succeeded. Countering them is this old guy, Louis Soir, and his scion allies, who are trying to channel enough ether to re-imprison the dragon. They fail, unfortunately, and Louis Soir elects to warp the Warriors of Light away and sacrifices himself to stop Bahamut. And then everything is apparently fine. That's essentially where the game kind of resets itself. So the how and the why of how Bahamut was stopped is not actually known. Everybody on the planet is aware that a calamity happened, but the specifics are kind of blurred out of their mind, and no one actually really knows what happened. They just know that somebody saved them, so they kind of chalk it to Warriors of Light saving the day. But they don't really know anything about how it actually happened. So I'll let the game tell the rest of the story from that point, because that's where we're going to pick up in here. But there was one other thing that I just kind of wanted to talk about before getting started. I think one of my consistently favorite parts of this game has been all the different varying soundtracks that are in this game. And I mean, it started from the get-go, because the soundtrack that played during that clip is called Answer. It's the Realm Reborn's theme, and that song has been readily stuck in my head since I first ever started playing this game. I really like the feel of the choral parts, and the lyrics. If you look them up, or if you I'd recommend looking it up either on YouTube or something to hear it on its own. The lyrics are pretty interesting. It's set up like this dialogue between the Eorzean people and their light deity Hydaelyn. And it's like, and it's the song's 4 sections, and it's like a cry for help and a response, and a cry for help and a response. It's really cool, because I mean, like, the people are crying out and asking her, like, why is life full of like pain and hardships and death, and her answer to them is like, the possibilities of purpose are endless, and the purpose of life is to find a purpose and learn what you can, and pass your knowledge on. And it's just this really deep feeling surrounded by these beautiful vocals that it really got in my head, even like the first time I heard it. So I definitely recommend giving it a watch sometime. But anyway, so that's all I had to say on all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this is my main character, Shandar Covenriver. We are going to make a new one for my wife. So I won't load appearances yet, and I'll just kind of show you what races there are. Now, I'll be upfront about things right now. When it comes to names and pronunciations, you will hear plenty of mispronunciations, I'm sure. So instead, you can read these off here, but I'll just kind of say these are basically the kind of average humanoids. these ones, these Elzen, are kind of like meant to be kind of like the elf-like races. They're a little taller with pointier ears. You have the Luffaels that are kind of hobbit-like. You know, they're really short. They're pretty adorable in this game. They do all sorts of cute emotes and that kind of stuff. These ones, they're kind of like, they just, you know, they're humanoids, but they have cat ears. And that's the race I'll be choosing for my wife. But then to continue on, these kind of are like taller Amazon-esque, like humanoids. And then Aura is the one I chose for my main character, because these are like, there's some sort of like dragon mix in these humanoids, which was kind of cool. Like they have like scales and you can give them different horns and stuff like that. So I like those the best. So that's the one I chose for mine. These were recently added in the latest Shadowbringers expansion. They're like smaller size Ronzos from Final Fantasy X without the horns. And then the Viera, these are directly from Final Fantasy 12. You had Fran, who was, you know, these bunny-eared women, and then there's a whole like race of them, and that kind of keeps themselves. These are basically like pulled straight from that game. But those are the races that are available to play. But now I'm gonna go back real quick, and I'm going to load the character that I rolled for my wife here. So I thought she's kind of on the shorter side, obviously to match my wife. If you saw her, you would know exactly why I would go that short. But like, as far as her kind of gaming mentality, I felt that like she was a little bit fiercer and feistier than a Luffael, so I didn't choose the little ladies. But I thought this was the most appropriate for her. And I'm not gonna save it because I already had it. Let's just choose the date in the center. And I think I already talked over which one we were going to choose, so we'll go with home for her. And then obviously, if you know anything about my wife, we need to go Marauder for her running straight ahead tanking mentality. So that's what she's going to look like when she gets to level 50. You're not going to want to mess with her. Alright, so I'm going to start off in the same. No! Select another. We want to start here. Check. And then we're going to give her my nickname for her Ishi. And then I'll just give her same last name that my Shandar character has, Coben River. Alright. We're ready to go. Let's start. Now, what'll be kind of fun is that there are 3 city-states that your character can start from. When I first started this game, I chose Granadia as my home capital, and I'm not sure like to what level the quest line is kind of separated between city-states, but basically what I'm getting to is that this character is going to start off in a different city-state than what I had started off when I first started this game. So it'll actually be interesting for me because I'm not necessarily going to know where I'm at or what I'm going to be doing initially. So this will be fun for everybody. And also for now, I guess I'll read the dialogue boxes. I know I'm going to mess up quite a bit though. So if it starts becoming a deterrent from like reading, I may just let it go. Classic Final Fantasy starting. I hear you, I feel nothing. Oops. I am the warrior. You mess with the wrong girl now, punk. Ooh. Ominous. Oi, you alright, lass? Well, I was sleeping, apparently. You were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. Rolling of the ship. Got your stomach churning, has it? Doesn't seem like seasickness, now that I've got a look at you. It'll be the ether then, I reckon. Some are more sensitive to this stuff than others, see, and we ain't too far from Vilbrand now, which is chock full of aetherites. No need to fret, though. You'll soon get used to it. Or not. Ugh. Might as well have been bloomin' seasickness. Ship's leaping around like a demented chocobo today. I reckon I might head out on deck, get myself some fresh air. LIMSA is still a fair way off, in case you were wondering. Seeing as you're awake and all, how about you keep me company till we get there? Them youngins don't much care for conversation, see. They're important, though. Any road, Brennan's the name, and peddlin's me trade. It's cool that we're on a boat. When I started in Grenada, I was just on this little, like, chocobo drawn carriage. I also really like their ships. They're actually, like, real lifelike and legitimate looking. Ah, smell that salty sea breeze. Now that last, judging from your unusual garments, I'd say you're one of them new adventurers. Am I warm? I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business, these days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? Power, glory, and a massive fortune? I don't know. I don't think any of that stuff. Not really sure. I mean, I'm called an adventurer. Maybe I'm looking for adventure. Adventure! Well, if you ain't inclined to tell, I ain't about to pry. Might be as old Brennan's a chatterbox, but he sure as hell ain't nobody's busybody. We all have secrets or three, don't we? Me? Dozens. And I'd rather they stay secret too, which is why I don't go sticking my nose where it ain't welcome. Just remember though, there's more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. So you're saying I should rush headlong into danger, right? Whoa. This seems like a lot. Shift off the starboard bow, pirate colors. Get up, dude. Pirates, bloody hells. Have you no sense? Get below. Are we gonna fire back? Seem to be coming on fast, guys. What is the world coming to? Pirates firing on a ship flying LOMINSA colors. Bastards either have a boatload of balls or buggered all for brains. You can rest easy, friends. We made it out of cannon range, and no buccaneer bark'll catch this flighty tempest once the wind's in her sails. I'm just saying now, I'm gonna mess up a bunch of this pirate lingo too. That was too bleeding close. Glad one of us kept her head on her shoulders. I reckon I'd have lost mine otherwise. If them pirates gave us a chance, we must be close to port. Or gave up the chase, we must be close to port. Let's head up on deck and have a look, shall we? By and by, is this your first trip to LIMSA, LOMINSA? Yeah. It is? Well then, let this journey itinerant, there we go, tell you in the ins and outs of your destination. LIMSA LOMINSA prides itself on being Eorzean's foremost naval power. Weren't long ago that the place was ruled by pirates, but thanks to the current admiral's civilian influence, the city-state could almost pass for a respectable nation. You never guessed she was once a rum-swiddling buccaneer herself. Of course, most folks ain't too quick to change, and with a town full of liberty-loving ruffians, you can imagine how many naysayers and troublemakers she's got to deal with, like them pirates who took a fancy to us just now. And if that weren't bad enough, I heard that Sagans are raiding the coast just as bold as you please. Them are the sea-dwelling beastmen the locals call fishbacks, in case you didn't know. Ah, at long last, land ho! Behold, LIMSA LOMINSA, a nation blessed by the ocean's bounty and beloved of Limnin, goddess of navigation. Yep, messed that one up.
On a windswept isle in the southwestern corner of the realm, amidst the roiling waves of the Rotom Sea, lies the maritime city-state of LIMSA LOMINSA.
Too bad I don't have that narrator's voice.
To this haven for bandits and brigands, cutthroats and curs, seekers of both freedom and fortune, comes a lone adventurer.
Adventure!
Lone yet not alone, for the hero's arrival has drawn the gaze of the nation's patron deity, Lim-Lane.
Lim-Lane.
What realm-shaking fate has she descried in the churning waters of this mortal's future?
Let's find out. Number 1, get a better axe. Look how dented that is. And here's where we part ways, lass. I'm off to the market to deliver me wares, then it's on to the high roads for me. Here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks for saving my arse earlier. Hey, you never did tell me your name, did you? Well, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square. Knowing smirk.
Through peril and hardship, discovery and triumph, may the navigator guide this brave soul on her life's voyage. Till sea swallows all.
Hey, you there. I mean you. This is my district, and I'll make it my business to know all the scum that washes up in it. Wow. Aggressive, dude. Ah, an adventurer fresh off the boat, is it? Well then. Allow one of LIMSA's finest to set you on the right path. Hop to it, lass. I haven't got all day. Okay, so there's probably going to be a lot of tutorial stuff that comes up that I'm going to ignore. Yep, welcome. Please select control scheme, keyboard previews, follow the instructions. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, getting rid of all that stuff. I know how to move. Initiating quest, shut up. And shut up. To be recognized as an adventurer in the city-state of LIMSA, you must first register yourself with the Adventurers Guild. Now then, I'm sure you're itching to explore, but adventurers are required to register their presence in the city, and without a bit of local knowledge, you're like to get your throat slit in some piss-stinking alley. Oh, well that's comforting. So, before you do anything else, get yourself over to the Drowning Wench and enroll with the Adventurers Guild. It's not far, just head straight down this street and speak with Greffar. He'll show you how to work the big moving platform we call the Crow's Lift, and that'll take you up to the pub. Once you're there, look for a fellow by the name of Badiron? Or Badaron. That's what I'm gonna go with, Badaron. He's a proprietor of the Wench. He might curse a lot. He might curse like an ale-sodden sailor, but the man's got a soft spot for wide-eyed newcomers like yourself. He'll set you straight. Got all that? Now run along and make way for, or may the navigator guide you on your journey. Well, thank you. You've been on a quest. Woohoo! Go away. I know. I can jump. Boop. Hi, Grandfar. Welcome to LIMSA. If you have a mind to visit the Drowning Wench, the Crow's Lift will take you there. Yes. Alright, I'm here. Okay, Buderon. Hey man, I want to complete my quest. Hola. Greetings to you, lass. What'll it be? Ah, but you ain't here for a drink, are you? You come from mine to try your hand at adventuring, I reckon. Well, you'll find no shortage of work here in LIMSA. The name's Beteron, and this most hospitable and this is the most hospitable and hostilities in the Drowning Wench. He takes out all of his H's, and I'm gonna mess them all up. Tis also the home of the Adventurers Guild here in LIMSA. That's why we've got a desk specially for handling guild business, and why I'd seem to spend more time saving the necks of whelps like yourself than wetting me throats of me regulars. Venturers have a knack for finding trouble, see? Not that they need to in these parts on account of there being trouble wherever you look. If you manage to steer clear of the fishbacks and the kobolds outside the city, the pirates on the inside will get you instead. And if they don't manage, there's always the Garlean Empire to finish the job. Oh, no one knows what they're planning, of course. But if they're planning anything, you can be sure it's to kill the lot of us. Aye, this town seems peaceful at a glance, but look again and you'll see a people living in fear of what tomorrow might bring. And who can blame them after everything that's happened? Eorzea took a mighty blow during the calamity, but our homes weren't the only thing that got wiped off the face of existence by a thrice damned bastard of a dragon. It took our bleeding memories too, and no one's been able to explain it in a way that makes an ounce of sense. None of the folk what saw it and lived to tell the tale seem to agree on how the tale actually goes. 'Tis all foggy, like recollections from a hard night ale. You can imagine why people might fear for the future if they can't recall the past. But there is one thing we all remember, and that's a group of adventurers what laid down their lives to drag Eorzea back from the brink when she was bound for the abyss. Well, as I say, we remember. Truth is, though we ain't forgotten what they did for us, this goddamn calamity spawned memory loss robbed us of their names. It won't even let us picture their damn faces. It's like staring at a gull flying in front of the sun, and all you see in your mind's eye is a shadow set against a blinding glare. And that's how every bugger describes it. By the way, give or take the odd gull. This is what got people calling these heroes the Warriors of Light. If LIMSA is ever going to put its time of darkness behind it, it's going to need venturers to help banish the fears. It's going to need heroes like the ones we lost. Maybe one day you'll be one of them, and that's why any aid we can give you venturers is effort well spent. What do you say? You willing to lend your strength? Yeah. Me thanks to you and to the navigator and all. I knew she'd steer you me way for a reason. But listen to me, yattering on like a sun-touched fishwife. 'Tis high time we got your mark in me book. Put your scrawl right here. Ishi Coven Ripper, is it? And a fine name it is. That's right. Congratulations, you're now an upstanding member of the Adventurers Guild. You there, adventurer. You sailed in on the last ferry, did you not? That's this dude. The captain's reported being attacked by a pirate vessel, and several witnesses have testified independently that a passenger matching your description went out on deck mere moments before the incident took place. Sending your friends signals, were we? Excuse me? Now hold on just a moment there, officer. You've got the wrong lass. This fine, upstanding young lady is my dear departed grandma's sister's niece's cousin's closest companion. The lass wouldn't be caught dead fraternizing with such unsavory elements. Whoa, is that right? You're surely aware of the recent kidnappings. Respectfully, then, we cannot be too trusting of outsiders at this time, when the loyalty of even our closest friends is in doubt. You make a good point there, officer. A very good point. Very wise. You needn't worry, though. I'd keep one eye open at all times, me, and two more often than not. Now, sir, what do you say to a tankard of me finest ale before ye return to your duties, eh? Not the watered-down cup of piss like last time, I should hope. Ain't got the faintest idea what you're talking about, officer. The wench might offer some of the cheapest grog this side of the strait, but that don't mean that it won't. Wow. Well, that don't mean it won't get your good and pickle. And look, there's a chair over there just crying out to be sat on. So kick off them heavy boots, eh? I think the officers really just wanted a free drink. You'll have to excuse the eager, bloody yellow jackets. There's been a spate of kidnappings, see, and they ain't got a clue who's behind them. Naturally, they've taken to clapping irons on anyone who looks vaguely suspicious, which means adventurers, visitors, and pretty much every bugger else in town. Don't take it personal, though. Us LOMINSians can be a headstrong bunch of bastards, 'tis true, but given time, we'll grow on ya. Now, where was I? Oh, aye, welcome to LIMSA, LOMINSA, where the sea as green as the faces of the patrons after a few too many black-belly whiskeys. I don't know if I like that. Now take a moment to gather your wits, and we'll get started on learning your way around the sea. We did it! And we get experience, yay! Okay. Close to home. Baderon, proprietor of the Drowning Wench, wants you to perform 3 tasks that will help you learn the fundamentals of adventuring. How sweet. Right then, let's start off nice and easy with 3 tasks that'll help you get used to life here in LIMSA. Firstly, if you head down the floor, then point your nose west, you'll get an eyeful of a great glowing crystal in the middle of the courtyard. That's an aetheryte, a device what can move you from one place to another in the blink of an eye. Ain't no swifter way to travel, providing there's an aetheryte where you want to go, of course. Have a chat with the yellow jacket on guard there, and you'll be treated to a lecture on how to work the device. Before you do that, though, remember to touch the thing. Strange as it sounds, it won't work till you have. Second on the list is the marketplace. You'll find weapons and armor and all your adventuring bits and pieces for sale in the district what lies beyond the aetheryte. Don't go throwing your gil around just yet, though, or you'll get fleeced quicker than you can say, "Why is me coin purse so light?" Have a word with Swazballet, I guess, instead. He's one of the Merchant League, by the way. He's the head of it. There we go. Give him this old account, old Octant, and he'll treat you well. For the last of me helpful hints, I suggest you meet some fellow axe wielders at the Marauders Guild. I guarantee you'll learn a few tricks of swinging that Ed Splinter of yours if you join their crew. Let's see, let's give it a try. Blathota at the front desk will help, is the one to get you started. Got all that, lads? Seeing to them 3 tasks will take you a little jaunt around the city and help you work out where everything is. Now I've best be getting on. Run along, eh? Bugger it, there's something. There I go, sending you off without telling you something crucial. That bloody calamity's made a right mess of me memory, I swear. Well, that or the ale. Any road. While you're out, if you happen to pass by a poor sod, what looks like they might need your help, considering giving their tale of woe a listen, eh? Sounds like a chore, I admit, but you never know what interesting opportunities come lurking out there, just waiting for you to supple on them. For example, Nininya over yonder has been casting glances at you since you waltzed in. Why not lend an ear and see what she has to say? You're like to find yourself running odd errands in the beginning, but once you build a reputation as womenfolk can trust, the job will get harder and the rewards more generous. If you've the time, I'd also seek the advice of the smith here in the wench. The lad's a bear that titles have some fine advice for them what are in just starting out in the profession. And that, my girl, is how we go about becoming a legend among adventurers. Hi, the smith. Sorry about the dialogue before then. To lead the drowning wench, I must accept the quest, making a name. Okay. Main menu, go away. Navigation, go away. Okay. Hello, Nanina. Making a name. Nanina, a veteran adventurer, has some information that might be interesting. Well, would you look at this, a shiny new adventure. Come close, lass. I have some information that might help put you on the map here in LIMSA. I was passing through Bulwark Hall, not long ago, and saw a bunch of herbs just scattered about on the ground. Now I'm not entirely certain, but I think they might have been the black market wares known as treeing flowers. LIMSA is a busy port, and not all the merchants that blow in across the strait are above board, if you know what I mean. How the plants end up in mizzenmast, who knows? Might have been a deal gone bad. The important thing is that you make a name for yourself by handing them in. Speak with Skinrail? I don't know. And she'll get you down to the first floor. Then all you have to do is pick up the herbs and take them to at Skyfe at the Octon. Being a worldly captain, he knows a thing or two about such shady goods. I think she's messing with me, but I'll do it anyway. Get a simpler name, Skinreel. I do fear that loading in the city-state of LIMSA for a while might be a little problematic, because there's a lot going on in the city right now. So it takes a lot of time to load all the NPCs and then the actual people that are playing in the game here. Let's see. Yeah, this is the kind of interesting stuff that I'm sure once we get kind of the idea of where we're going, I'll probably start speeding this kind of stuff up. Alright, hello Aldskyfe. Yes, I am Aldskyfe. You have some herbs you wish me to examine? Handing over items. Great, I'd love to have this. Yes, as you've suspected, these are the highly illegal blooms known as dream flowers. They are a prime ingredient in the creation of somnus, a substance whose fragrance is said to lull a sniffer's mind into sleep of death. Forgive me, I could not resist the jest. These herbs are not more than althic lavender, a common enough export in LIMSA. In fact, these probably spilled off a crate that were loaded onto my very own ship. I think someone's been having a bit of fun with you, miss. But not to worry, you've learned a few things and made a new acquaintance. Well met. Alright, if you say so. Using items, eh? Okay, you have another question. Suspiciously sober. Aldskyfe, captain of the trading ship Orion, has some information that might benefit your standing as an adventurer. By way of thanks of delivering my scattered lavender, I have a nugget of information that may prove useful to you. You see, I was recently approached by an unkept seafarer, which is not, I admit, particularly unuseful for a man in my profession. What was unusual is that he was offered a generous sum of gil to be introduced to any adventurer I might know. In my experience, sailors are not known to carry such a wealth of coin about their person, especially with the alehouses in LOMINSA so close at hand. Kidnappings have not been uncommon in these past moons. I suggest you take this information and speak with Glazriel, a guard who stands at the entrance of East Hawker's Alley. It never hurts to show the spirit of cooperation to the authorities, lass. Everybody calls me lass. Beat their face in with an axe, man. Okay, now I'm attuning to this Aetheryte. Big crystal. Yay! Ah, another novice adventurer. I, Veteran, has sent more than a few of your kind this way as of late. Bleh. I am Sund Himmel, one of the Yellow Jackets tasked with keeping the peace in the city. It is also my charge to provide guidance in the use of this device. Fear not, I shall be brief. Not brief enough. Aetheryte are crystalline structures that tap into ethereal energies. They are primarily used for the means of travel swiftly from one place to another. Return and teleport, the most common teleportation spells, make direct use of Aetheryte and their connections of to the flow of ether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer worthy of the name will wish to seek out and attune herself to each one. Once you have expanded your horizons beyond the walls of the city, you will soon find yourself performing the act of attunement as a matter of course. There is, however, no need for unseemly haste. The Aetheryte found in and around the city will be sufficient for the present, I assure you. Should you wish to learn more about Aetheryte and transportation magic, I will be here to answer your question. Oh yes, I learned Return. Thank goodness. I'm going to use it so much, except not at all. At least not right now. Okay. I want to know if I can get mail yet. Mail guy's usually right there, right? Okay. Well, so at this point, I'm gonna take a pause. We've gotten started, we've gotten our character created, and I think next time I'll probably do some settings adjustments before I start playing again. So, alright, well, I hope you enjoyed my first video, and we'll see you guys next time.